This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Wednesday, June the 13th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly Glenn Clark says while his government's decision to reintroduce free university education from September, there will however be need for some belt tightening. Clark's comments came yesterday afternoon during debate on government's mini-budget delivered Monday by Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Mia Mottley.
Yes, we agree that there will be belt tightening. There must be belt tightening. So when people talk about the last government, I heard the present opposition leader talk about tax, we raise taxes similar to what the last government. Let me make a distinction here though. In 2008, the Minister of Finance, late David Thompson, increased taxes by $108 million across the board. Taxes upon taxes upon taxes. Right? They did it. And we criticized them, yes, but they did not give any increase of salaries then. They did not give any increases to the people of Barbados at the time. They took taxes. At the time, in 2008, we had $2.7 billion in foreign reserves. This country, when we came to office 20 days ago, we have no foreign exchange. Can you imagine $2.7 billion in foreign exchange with what we had in 2008 compared to what we found in just a couple of days ago? Less than $200 million.
And Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, Kirk Humphrey, lamented that the country was losing its precious coral reefs and beaches due to years of neglect, but assured that the government was on the case.
And so I propose that we need to have a development strategy in large measure that involves the blue economy. I know my colleague Minister for St. James Central, the honorable member, and I have already had conversation about it. And I'm sure as we spread out, it's going to become a part of how we bring Barbados out of the economic doldrums that Barbados now currently finds itself.
And Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Trade, Sandra Husband, said her ministry has to set up agreements for small enterprises within CARICOM so they can expand their markets. Husband cited the example of a young man who currently writes software applications for a living.
But how will he earn from it? He will only be able to earn from it if he's able to go into CSME and be able to market his service. And one of the things that in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade that we have to do is to be able to set up those agreements and monitor the agreements to make sure that when he seeks to get into those markets, he is able to freely pursue his profits in places other than Barbados.
And the Caribbean Youth Development Program has welcomed the return to tuition-free education at the University of the West Indies for Barbadians. Project coordinator at the UWI, Damani Paris, also lauded the alignment between the Barbados government's policy and regional youth strategies proposed to CARICOM heads of government for decision next month.
I am confident that the Caribbean Youth Development Fund can be of great value in mainstreaming progressive policies like that of Prime Minister Mottley across the region. I remain hopeful that through the work of the Caribbean Youth Development Fund, we will be able to mainstream policies like this and facilitate development of the youth throughout the region. Certainly in the spirit of such regional alignment, there is room for cooperation amongst all of the region to unify to develop our youth. Let us hope that the Caribbean Youth Development Fund becomes a reality, like the return of free tertiary education in Barbados.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. Guyana's opposition leader Barbados Jagdeo accuses ExxonMobil of failing to provide adequate information to him whenever he interacts with the company. But the company has a different story to tell. The details from Royden James.
Mr. Jagdeo says that since he took over as opposition leader, he has only met with the oil company to be briefed a mere 3 times. That's 3 times in 3 years. He contends that's not how it should be. On Thursday, the opposition leader, responding to questions by the media, said that whenever he is briefed by ExxonMobil and asks certain questions, he is not provided with satisfactory answers, or the company would direct him to the government for answers.
And when I asked ExxonMobil about the signing bonus, I did ask about the signing bonus. They said, I have to get that from the government of Ghana. That was the last time I think I met them.
ExxonMobil was asked for an explanation, and according to head of the company's local government and public affairs, Kimberly Brasington, the opposition leader has been kept in the loop by the company.
We are engaging with all of our stakeholders, right? So government and then opposition, the people, the community leaders. And so we do try very hard to keep the opposition informed, just as we do the current government.
And on the international scene, British Prime Minister Theresa May has won a key vote over Brexit, but loses one of her ministers. We pick up the story in this Euronews report.
British Prime Minister Theresa May won a key victory over her plans to leave the European Union, but only after having to offer major concessions that could weaken the government's hand in its talks with Brussels. Ministers defeated a move to give MPs the decisive say on what happens over Brexit if they don't agree with the final deal. Brexit Minister David Davis had earlier warned that the government would never allow backbenchers to reverse Brexit or undermine negotiations. Earlier, May suffered a setback when Junior Justice Minister Philip Lee, long critical of Brexit strategy, resigned and said he would vote against the government. Labour said May had been forced to avoid a humiliating defeat and enter into negotiations with her backbenchers.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.